storytelling day with a voyage story. I have another story that involves a voyage. It's a sort of special story to me. It happened in Donegal a long time ago. There was a family by the name of O'Connor. Father, wee boy called Sean, a little baby called Kathleen, or Katie they called her. They lived in the time of the Irish famine. They couldn't pay the rent. Early one morning, the landlord's men came to put them out of the house, set fire to the thatch. And as they stood huddled outside, the woman holding the baby in her arms and her shawl, the woman said, wait, I've forgotten something. I have to get back into the house. No rent, no house. And so, like many others, they had to go to the workhouse. When they got there, the men were separated from the women, the children separated from their parents. It was grim. And within a week, the wee baby had died. And she was just buried in a big pit with all the other fever victims. And when the young mother heard the news, the bloom went off her cheek. She got thinner. Within a month, she was dead of a broken heart. Her young husband was determined she would have a Christian burial. He got her buried in the local churchyard, couldn't afford a stone, of course. No headstone for her. And taking his little boy, they walked all the way to Derry to board one of those coffin ships bound for America. All the way over on the ship, he talked to his son, talked to Sean about the mummy and the baby sister, sang him Irish songs, played the whistle, told him the old stories. When they landed in Boston, the man got a job working in the big tall houses that they had at that time, long before skyscrapers. And again, as Sean grew up, he grew up feeling very Irish. And eventually he joined his father at the building trade, and generation followed generation. And the O'Connor known as builders, they were building now those grand skyscrapers. They decided they wanted to come back to Ireland, like many Americans, to see where they. This time, no coffin ship, but they flew across the Atlantic, came to the village where they knew their ancestors were buried. The world was to find the original graveyard, and sure enough, they made their way to the plot of the great-great-granny and organized a headstone for her grave. Then they went searching for the old cottage, and sure enough, they found it, but the roof had long since fallen in. But it was for sale. They decided they would buy it. People said, no, you can't buy that house. They said, why not? It's our family home. No, you can't buy that house. That house is haunted. It's haunted by the noise of a baby crying. Nobody can sleep in it, and even going past it, everybody can hear that baby crying. The house. We're going to buy it. And sure enough, with their skills as builders, they did up the cottage, something out of The Quiet Man, thatched roof, lovely painting. The young daughter, whose name was Katie, was playing around in the house before they moved in, and she came to that big fireplace. The Irish fireplaces in those old houses, so big you could step inside and look up and see the sky. And she remembered hearing the story as to how the older people would have kept in a wee hole up the chimney, because those old houses were damp. And something made her put her hand into that little hole, and she pulled out a piece of cloth, and when she opened it up, there was an old tin locket. When she opened the locket, there was a drawing of a little baby. It said Katie, 7. She knew the story. She took it to her father. He carefully wrapped it up, and they buried it in the grave of the great-great-granny. And do you know something? After that, nobody ever heard the crying baby again. It's a story.
Oh, beautiful.
Love that story. And Liz, can you just tell people, like, you know, how that story was made?